Something about this place always feels like home. Lots has changed since last time we were here. Of course, there's a new captain. He's never lifted a trophy before as the Liverpool skipper. In the process of Liverpool winning tonight, will he extend that record tally of the League Cup to 10?
It's the Football League Cup for the first time.
Again, Wheeler's got it. Brilliant goal. Souness. And a goal! A super second goal!
It's Liverpool again.
Save! Liverpool are prize winners again.
Still Owen, can he win the cup? Yes, he can! It's a magnificent 7 League Cup triumph for Liverpool Football Club. Hello, old friend. It's good to see you again. Long steps Kepler, right footed. Joy for Liverpool! We win at Wembley!
So many moments that just bring the biggest smile to your face. Liverpool's love affair with this League Cup has spanned the decades, dominant in the 80s, fleeting since then, but with memories still fresh from the dramas of 2 years ago, it's fair to say we are once again smitten with silverware. Big afternoon for Liverpool. Chelsea versus Liverpool in this Carabao Cup final. 3 o'clock kickoff here at the National Stadium, and we are building up to this showpiece encounter between the Reds and the Blues. Don't forget, LFC TV and LFC TV Go's got exclusive Carabao Cup final coverage right throughout the day with our full pre-match show, and it's live across our social channels as well. And welcome to Matchday Live. It's presented by Standard Chartered. We're pitchside at a rather gloomy Wembley this afternoon to look ahead to the League Cup final, and delighted that we have former Reds Ronnie Whelan, Stephen Warnock and Ray Houghton with us as well. I was very interested to find out whether you feel a bit like us, nervous. Were you nervous for these kind of encounters as players?
I was, especially the final against Wimbledon back in 1988. That's as nervous as I've been in a football match. Didn't sleep very well the night before. Went down to breakfast, didn't feel good at all, and I think that would reflected in how I played in the game, which wasn't very good. But not nervous today because I'm not playing, but I'm really looking forward to the game. I think it should be a cracking match.
Ron?
Always. Every cup final, every league game, I was nervous. I had problems with my nerves. I just wanted to get out of the dressing room and just get on the pitch very, very early. And I felt once I was out on the pitch, I felt no problems whatsoever. But having to wait around wasn't for me.
Mine was a little bit. I was at Aston Villa when I played in my first cup final, and I remember Martin O'Neill said we're going to go down 3 days before. And it was almost like, why change the routine? And I overthought things. I was thinking of like changing my diet and watching everyone else what they were doing, because we were all living in the hotel together. I'm pretty much like Ray. I look back on my final performance and think, why did I change things? I didn't play well. I didn't do myself justice. Overthought the final, and I think that's what often you can do as well.
Yeah, you hear that quite a lot in boxing, don't you? That nervous energy sometimes gets the better of fighters, and that you have too much time, like Ronnie said, before you get on the pitch.
They've always talked about Wembley, the pitch sapping your energy and people having cramp and that. But for me, it's more the mental issue of what you've gone through for the last 3 or 4 days. You're not sleeping properly, not eating properly, whatever. And that's what gets on top of you in the end.
These are bookmarks to our life, though, aren't they? These trips to Wembley, certainly as supporters as we all are now. You're trying to get your family tickets. It was no different when you were players, I know. But, you know, these moments that we have as supporters where we're able to share the emotion together, which Jurgen Klopp has just been synonymous with, Ray.
It's been absolutely brilliant. I've got to be honest with you, I got here at 10:30 and around Wembley it was absolutely packed. I've never seen scenes like it. And I think that's the modern supporter, isn't it? They like to get to the stadium very early. They want to take in the atmosphere. They want to be part of it. Even now, still with a couple of hours before kick-off, look around. Fans are coming in here. They'll be in having a drink and getting ready for the match itself. The anticipation's there. You know, everyone's thoroughly looking forward to the game. Like you say, it was more Liverpool than Chelsea. I know it's because they've got to come further away, but it was all Liverpool. It was out there, and the coffee bars and everywhere else all around the stadium. It was just filled with Liverpool supporters. Have come from all over the world to come and support Liverpool today.
You see a lot of the posters that are in and around Wembley, and all of the marketing material that they've used, Ronnie, has been with Jurgen Klopp's face on it. It's a bit how we feel as fans, that it feels a bit like a Jurgen Klopp final again.
I wonder if Virgil van Dijk would let Klopp go up and get the cup, like Bob Paisley did at his last game, which was here at Wembley. Well, his last final was at Wembley, Bob. And the lad said, no, we'll let Bob go up. He was going at the end of the season. And it would be nice to see Klopp doing it, but I'm sure Virgil wants to do it himself. He wants to pick it up if we do win.
How are you feeling about the whole thing? And we've had quite a few weeks to process it now, but I suppose using that phrase bookmarks, it feels like one of those events, doesn't it? We hope it's not the last domestic cup final we have with him, but you know, there's a possibility that might be the case.
Yeah, there is quite possibility that is the case, and that's why it's so important today to try and get that win, because you just don't know. So often the question's not only asked about Jurgen, but it's asked about players, and there's been a lot of talk this week of, well, the Premier League's the most important thing, and this final's not. People get injured, they get sick, they miss big games. They'll all want to play in this game, and Jurgen will want to enjoy this game tonight. He'll want to make sure, he'll want to make sure that he wins it, because again, it might be his last cup final as a Liverpool manager. The big thing for me with Jurgen is that he's been great, and we've enjoyed 8 and 9 years of arguably the best football we've seen in years, and the way we've gone toe-to-toe with City, it's been brilliant. I mean, when I left the football club, it was sort of not in a great place, and then when I came back, when I finished playing, the new owners, Jurgen being in the staff and things, you feel welcome, you feel like you're part of the club again, you feel like the doors are open for you, but the fans feel that as well. There's been a huge connect. I think that's why they come to Wembley to support the team so well, and at every single game, because of the relationship that he's bought with the fans and the players and the former players as well.
Yeah, it's a great point that you go to any game at Anfield now, you know, there's every former Liverpool player you can think of there working, feeling part of this. We all do as staff as well, we all do as supporters. There's been that great connect that he's been responsible for.
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant for the club. You know, from day one when he came in, there was an empathy with him towards the supporters. He understood what they wanted, you know, what had been missing at the club for a number of years, and that was connection between the manager and the fans and the players. And he's brought that back to Liverpool Football Club. I think it's going to be a very emotional day for him, because you just pointed out, this might be his last final here at Wembley as the Liverpool manager. He's going to savour every moment of it. He's going to connect with the Liverpool supporters, I'm sure, and he'll be hoping at the end of it he's going to be picking up the trophy, that his side's going to pick up the trophy, and it'll mean as much to him for the supporters as it will from himself, because that's the type of individual that he is.
Even with the early game, Pete, when he brought all the players, didn't win the game, but he brought all the players down to the cup, all waved at the cup, all clapped the cup, saying well done, we're doing our best for yous now. And Klopp got it. He knew how to handle the players and the supporters, and he's kept it going since he came to the club.
And everyone laughed at that outside of Liverpool, didn't they? Everyone thought, well, what are you doing? You've drawn, was it West Brom, wasn't it, the game? And everyone went, what's this all about? But it was the bigger picture, the bigger sort of understanding of what was needed within the football club, and he's been unbelievable what he's done.
I think there's going to be a few wobbly lips in here, whatever the outcome today. Remember his fist pumps as well to each of the stands at Anfield on Wednesday night. You wonder if Jurgen Klopp is, like Ray says, trying to savour every moment that he can this season. This will be a big one today. It brings another opportunity to create those lasting memories for the boss. And when he spoke to Becky Davis earlier this week, you could tell he really loves this competition.
First big silverware of the season. Firstly, how proud are you that the boys, you know, with relatively little experience of playing together, 6 months, some of them have known each other, they're already in a final?
I didn't feel pride yet about it. It's somehow just a job to do. We had to make it work, to make it happen. People spoke a lot about the necessity of a rebuild. We knew as well that we have to make or build a new team, if you want. I'm really pleased with the development, the general development, the performances, the desire we showed in so many moments. So many good things. And you don't go in a season, if you want, in the first season of a team, you don't qualify usually for final stuff like this. And that's why I'm really happy about it. But I probably would be proud if we win it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good answer. Good answer. In terms of the roads, obviously to the final, you've got Leicester. It was Bournemouth, which surviving those weather conditions was an achievement in itself. I mean, West Ham was a demolition job, really, if you like, at Anfield, and then Fulham. I mean, you fully deserve your place in this final. There've been some tough obstacles along the way, and you've blown them all out of your path, really.
Oh, 100%. I no doubt about it. So it's a really tough opponents and really great performances. We changed a lot. We changed the teams a lot, and everybody. So for us, the competition was a benefit as well, if you want, because we that time we had pretty much 95% of the squad available, and we could play them all, and we did, and so it's great. It's the Queef Kelleher competition as well, so he has the chance to win the second trophy of his career, which is absolutely great. I mean, he won already a lot, but standing in the goal, I know that maybe feels for the boys slightly different. So he plays the second final, let me say like that, and so that's all really cool. And so far, only positives about the competition. And yes, the West Ham game was top performance.
Very special for the likes of Jarell and Connor
Yes.
as well. I imagine that they've probably dreamed about moments like this all their lives, and then you get to sort of watch them and their faces as they get there, obviously wearing the red shirt at Wembley.
Yeah, there are different opportunities to write history, if you want, because obviously Liverpool fans never forget. Like 2 years ago, it was probably the competition of Taki Minamino. He with the goals he scored, he brought us to the final. It's now probably Cody Gakpo with the goals he scored in the competition. Yes, and a lot of kids played a lot of minutes, which is really, really important for them, and helped us then in the Premier League as well, because they I'm not sure 100% where their first game was, but all the minutes you can give them help. And you can see that in the performances they showed in the Premier League then. And so, yes, Jarell, incredible development this season. Connor, incredible development this season. Bobby Clark, incredible development. So many really nice things what happened during the season. It's a big step, and with ever competition, it's a big step for the young players. And they brought us 2 years ago into the final and helped us winning the competition, and they did
And I
the same
imagine
now.
at the other end of the scale, it means an awful lot to Virgil as well. You know, his first final to lead the team out at Wembley, and that will be a big moment for him too, even though he's
True.
obviously been to Wembley a few times.
True. Thanks for asking. I forget all these things. But of course it is. Lifting the first trophy as the first one. Obviously, we lifted some trophies together, and probably most of the time I stood next to Virgil. So it was for him then always probably position 2 or 3. So it's a big difference to be the one with the trophy in the hand. So yeah, it's big for him as well.
He's
True.
going to have to think of a new celebration if you and Hendo Shuffle's gone now, so he's got to think of a new one, hasn't he? Just in terms of Chelsea, obviously you've recently beaten them, but clearly in a final, neutral ground, it's a totally clean slate when it
and
comes
the
to
result
that
we
game.
had here doesn't help. Like,
No?
of course, we have to play the game again, and it's like firing the opponent up slightly.
Extra motivation in
and
a
the
way.
final is a completely different game. It's nothing to do. There's no home ground, obviously, and we know we played them now a couple of times in the final, and we know one part is blue and one is red. We know what our people are able to do, but the Chelsea people will be looking forward to it as well, and especially in a season where so far they didn't have to celebrate a lot. But everybody knows final starts there's no favorite or whatever. It starts at 0, and for each little advantage you have to work incredibly hard. And the two Chelsea games in the finals I remember as 2 of the best draws I've ever been part of in my entire life, because it was from a tactical point of view incredible, intensity point of view incredible, and then 0-0. Strange one. Really cool. You realize everything is different. Finals coming up, families want to come. Mine want to come anyway all the time, but then more people want to come and see the final. Wembley is a special place. So yeah, should be good fun.
And finally, just be yourself. We're speaking about how the players will feel on the day. For you as well, obviously with the impending departure at the end of the season, I'm sure you savour every single final and occasion, but will you feel that a little bit more and try and take it in a little bit more this time?
I don't know, but I don't expect it, to be honest, because finals were for me always that special. I'm not sure I can feel even more special. I don't know if I'm able to feel even more than I used to do. So I will have a look and tell you afterwards how it felt. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I don't see it as the last final. We have the opportunity to go to other finals. Hopefully, until then, we are definitely still in the European League, because we don't start with that before. And the big competition, hopefully we are around then as well. FA Cup we play afterwards, so we are until then in all competitions, so we will see, or we have the chance to qualify for more finals.
Yeah, we hope it's certainly not the last one. There's not a feeling anywhere, I don't think, that this is the last one of the season, because there's so much optimism about. And it was funny, Ronnie, a couple of weeks ago he spoke in a press conference about the fact that, you know, he didn't speak about it, but was asked about the embarrassment of riches. You've got all of these options available to you in the squad, and he said, I'm going to kick the next person out that talks about this, because it was tempting fate. There's always been a feeling that Liverpool needed to be lucky with injuries, and there's a feeling this week that we've been particularly unlucky with them.
Yeah, most definitely. Half your team or more is out injured. It's very, very difficult. We're talking about Mo Salah if he's out, Núñez if he's out, Alisson, Trent. We're sort of forgetting Alisson and Trent because they haven't played for a little while. But we're talking about 3 out, and there's 6 or 7 of the first team that are out, and it's not easy on anybody. You know, people always say, "Oh, Liverpool are always moaning about players getting injured, as if they're the only team that gets players injured." But it's a big drain on your squad if you are going for four trophies again. It's hard to keep everybody fit, and it's hard to juggle it around when to play them, when not to play them.
If you were Manchester City now and you lost Ederson, Kyle Walker, Rodri.
Well, they did with Rodri, didn't they?
Haaland. No, but then if you add in 4 or 5 more, that'd affect Manchester City. I don't care how good your squad is. And that's why it's such a big ask today, isn't it? Because of how it has been depleted so much. So, you can fully understand why he's sort of trying to quieten people down about talking about the injuries, because you need luck on your side at times, don't you, to win the big games, and you need to have a fully fit squad to be able to pick from.
You need a leader, though. You need someone in charge, like the Gaff is at the moment. Have you ever seen him smile as much as he did in that interview? Every minute he was talking there, he had a large smile on his face. A weight's been taken off his shoulder by the decision that he's made. He's now enjoying being the manager again. He's got to enjoy the remaining fixtures, whether it's the League, Europa League, the final today, or next Wednesday in the FA Cup as well. This is going to be prime time for him. He's going to enjoy. He's going to come out here today. He's going to get the fans up for it. He'll look at the group of players that he's got, even the ones that are out injured, but he believes in the ones that are going to be playing. And that was shown in the second half against Luton the other night when they went out there, and they were sensational. Why? On the front foot, went after Luton, pressed them high up the pitch, won the ball back in good areas, and passed the ball quickly. That's what we'll be asking of these players today, regardless who's in that starting 11. When Liverpool play with that tempo, they're hard to play against.
Let me ask you this, Ronnie. I think you weren't you, in a race against time to make a final?
Every week.
Big domestic final.
Yeah, the 88 Cup final. I'd been injured beforehand. I'd come back and I'd played a few games, and I thought, well, yeah, I'll be all right. I've played 2 or 3 games. Left back I played. Then I played in midfield, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'm okay, I'm ready. And didn't even make the bench.
Yeah, cheers for asking for that, Pete. Lovely.
But did you still feel when you got up on the morning of the final, you were still in with a chance not only of playing, but certainly being on the bench?
The team hadn't been given. People were guessing the team, as we were all week, guessing what the team will be today. But Kenny picked the team before the game, and I wasn't in it. It's disappointing for everybody that does it. You know, you go back and listen to Bob Paisley, who played great in the semi-final, missed the final, was left out of the final by Shank. So it's just so many that's happened to players.
You're listening out for a certain phrase. He's talking about me here.
He mentioned sentiment, Kenny.
Did he?
There'd be no sentiment in the team that I pick, and yeah, all right. Shall I just walk out now?
And I think that's the same with Jurgen. There'd be no sentiment today either. You know, he's got to make some key decisions in certain areas of the pitch. Full-back, centre-half, left-back. But he knows he has to pick the right team to go out there against Chelsea and get the win. So he won't be thinking, oh, he's done well in some of the games, I might have to favour him and put him in. He'll be thinking, no, what's the best player in that position to get the best out of our team going forward to win that match today? And that's what makes a special manager.
We will, of course, reveal the team news for you here first. If you're already here in the capital, you've made a weekend of it, or you're on your way as we speak. I bet you can't wait to walk up towards this famous arch, past the iconic Bobby Moore statue as well. And that's where Becky Davis has been as well this morning, soaking up the atmosphere. And she's outside now on Wembley Way with a familiar face.
Thanks very much, Pete. You can see the Bobby Moore statue there just behind us. We are in the shadows of Wembley Stadium. There's thousands of Liverpool fans milling around here. Tens of thousands more, I think, down in the fan zone where we are heading in just a minute. But it's familiar surroundings, I think, really, isn't it? And certainly for you, John Gibbons from the Anfield Wrap, you're back once again at Wembley. We're excited.
Yeah, it is absolutely brilliant. When the first time you see the arch, and the first time I've just walked down Wembley Way, to me, you're here, and it does give you goosebumps. It is absolutely incredible. And listen, Cardiff was a fantastic home for us. It was brilliant, and we had some really special times there. But there's nothing like Wembley, and it was a while till we actually played here in the new one. It took quite a few years, but now it's become Anfield South again, hasn't it? It's become the second home, and it is brilliant. And let's all hope that we've got a similar result to the one we got a couple of years ago.
Oh, fingers crossed, definitely. And lots of people making a weekend of it. I know you guys were here last night for a show down in the fan zone and packed out, I'm sure.
Yeah, we did a show in Boxbar last night, and it was absolutely brilliant, and a lot of people come in and like you say, want to make a weekend of it and making it even more special, treating it a little bit like a European final, I suppose. But we do have to make the most of it, because you never know. It might be the last final in the year in club, you don't know. We're obviously hoping for a couple of more in May, but you've got to make the most of these fantastic times while they're here, and a lot of people are doing that. They're coming for the weekend, they're staying over, and the atmosphere down there, I've just walked down and everyone's smiling, people of all ages as well, which is brilliant, and just all hoping, fingers crossed, for the big Liverpool win today.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about on the pitch, because you're feeling confident. How are the nerves?
I am. You'd like a few more, Pitwood. You'd like a few more of those players who you'd love a surprise, you know, either in the team or on the bench. Someone who you maybe thought wasn't back is suddenly there. That'd be fantastic. But as Jürgen said in the week, if we can get 11 on the pitch, then we believe. And as fans in the ground, it's our job to do that as well, is to get behind the 11 boys who've got the red shirts on today, whoever that might be. They play for Liverpool for a reason. The quality is there, and as they showed on Wednesday night, they can make anything happen. So here's hoping for more of the same. Whoever we can get out there on the pitch, I'm confident we can do it.
Great, good stuff. Okay, I think you sold the fan zone to me. We are going to head down there. We'll see you soon, Pete.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Don't forget as well, from kick-off, you can follow the game live with our audio commentary. Steve Hunter's our man on the mic as ever. He's way up behind us here at the National Stadium. Steve, I know you've been in place there for hours trying to get your nerves in check. Are you looking forward to this one?
Thank you so much, Pete, top man. Yes, certainly am. Looking forward to this one. We're here at Wembley. The crowd is gradually filling up. The Liverpool fans I was speaking to coming into the stadium are full of spirits, obviously an emotional season with it being Jürgen's last one. Of course, it would be so wonderful if we could achieve some great success here today. Of course, the last two finals against Chelsea were tight affairs on paper, weren't they? Even though the dramatic penalty shootout, the Carabao Cup final, you had the VAR nonsense of Joel Matip's disallowed goal by the narrowest of margins. And then, of course, the other one, of course, the FA Cup final, when Luis Diaz, didn't he, had so many efforts at goal. Andy Robbo's hit the post from a few yards out. But hopefully Liverpool can do the business in normal time and not leave us sweating and biting our fingernails too much here today. But, of course, recently, a few weeks ago at Anfield, what a performance that was. Liverpool beat Chelsea 4-1. It could have been 8-1. Let's be totally honest about that. It was such a dominating performance, and that was such a great game to commentate on. Goals have certainly been hard to come by in this fixture in recent times, but hopefully the likes of Jota and Darwin Núñez can do the goods for Jürgen's men tonight. Bradley, great tackle back off Chilwell, and Bradley can run with it now. Great ball to Jota. Jota trying to go all the way. Brilliant run. Brilliant. Diogo Jota. Oh, Diaz is playing in front of Bradley. Bradley running towards goal. Shoots. Sensational. Bradley onside, taking on Badiashile to the byline. Great cross. Good run by troublemaker on Kunku. Chance.
We don't deserve that. That's so poor defensively.
Lovely through ball. Núñez has got away. done well. He's not on the left side of the box. Nunes is in the area. Blue ball, Diaz! Oh! Tremendous! Luis Diaz! It's a fourth goal for Liverpool!
Hey, oh my word. Certainly enjoyed that one, as we always do, with the great man Aldo, of course, going crazy with the fans there behind him in our Anfield gantry position. Let's hope for more of the same today. Pete, it's all yours.
He's a legend, isn't he? And Ray Houghton's going to be alongside him. He's going to kick every ball. You better get your shinies on today.
I've got them on, don't worry. I've got cricket pads on, I mean shin pads.
Great memories and a great commentary as ever as well. It was an incredible game, Stephen, wasn't it? And you know, 4 goals could quite easily have been double that on the night.
Yeah, it could. And I think sometimes when you go up against Chelsea, they're so inconsistent, you don't know which Chelsea's going to turn up. They can be organised, they can be hard to play against, but on the night, Liverpool were dominant in the game and created so many opportunities, but so many clear-cut opportunities, not half chances. And I think that was the difference in the game. And like Steve just said there, it could have easily been 7 or 8, just such was the dominance. I do feel like they're a different Chelsea, though. At the moment, confidence is key in football, in any team, and off the back of this, they've probably had a long chat in the changing room between themselves and said, this is totally unacceptable for a club of our stature, for the money that's been spent in this changing room. It's embarrassing, in all honesty, and they've bounced back well from this defeat.
He thinks something clicked after that game against Liverpool. Pochettino, he feels since that they, like Stephen says, have become a much more improved side.
Yeah, there had to be something come out of that game for Chelsea. They cannot, as professional footballers, go out and play like they played at Anfield, because although Liverpool were very, very good, Chelsea sort of just threw it away, didn't they? They just went, we're not good enough for it. But professional footballers will be hurt by that. And they'll come out firing on all cylinders. They'll come out biting and kicking and fighting. This is not going to be... The way people are talking and the way we're talking about that great result. And it's if Liverpool are going to walk this game. And I'm getting frightened of the whole thing, because they better be prepared, Liverpool players, for a big onslaught by the Chelsea early on.
I always remember back being a kid, and I think I was probably 9 or 10 at the time. And I went to the Liverpool game where we beat Crystal Palace 9-0. And then a few weeks later, playing them in the FA Cup semi-final, and everyone thought, well, we're in the final. Well, it didn't happen that way, because the pride comes into it of professional players, and then the understanding, the togetherness. It changes a squad when you get beat heavily. It really does. So you've got to be fearful of Chelsea. You've got to not so much fearful, but respectful of them, haven't you? And understand that they are capable.
Look, Chelsea are a team in transition. 2 years ago, when we played them in the League Cup final, in that 20-man squad, 17 players have left the club. 17.
Yeah.
First team players. And you've got to change it around in 2 years. It doesn't happen like that in football. It takes time. And they're just slowly but surely improving game by game recently. And you've got a manager who I really like in Pochettino, done a very good job at Tottenham. He knows how the English game is. He knows how to get the best out of players. And he's just turning it around at the club. So this makes it much more difficult today. I think it's going to be a really tough ask, because when you've been beaten as they were at Anfield, and as you said, it could have been a lot more, professional pride's got to come into play. You've got to come out today and you've got to be saying, you know what, we're going to be after Liverpool players from minute 1 of the game. We can't play like we did up there, where they sat back and said to Liverpool, go and do what you want. Because that was a statement of intent from Liverpool that night. They were absolutely brilliant. On the front foot, took the game to Chelsea. Every time there was a ball to be won in midfield or any part of the pitch, Liverpool was the first player onto it. Chelsea were standing off of it. You won't see that today, I can assure you. These Chelsea players will be ready for whatever comes their way today, and they'll go out there, and there'll be obviously 40-odd thousand Chelsea fans in the stadium today. They've got to put on a show for them as well. You know, they'll be putting demands on them, and they'll be expecting them to perform at a higher level than they've seen over the course of the season, because the league form's not been great. It's been very inconsistent. 10 wins, 10 defeats. But if you look at their form in the cups, particularly obviously got through at the final, they're still in the FA Cup as well. So there's still a lot to play for a team that's in transition and made so many changes in the last 2 years.
The other thing as well, is Ray, is that they'll be looking at Liverpool's squad as well, thinking, what an opportunity for us to go. And that'll pick them up. That'll give them an extra percentage going into this game, thinking there's injuries in that squad. That's not the Liverpool at their very best. But in 10, 15 years' time, if you beat Liverpool today, you don't look back on it and say they were missing 7 or 8 players. It just goes down as Chelsea beat Liverpool, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, because you can only face the team that's in front of you, but their tails will be up in that changing room knowing that there's injuries.
Implicit in that, perhaps, Ronnie, is that we don't read too much into what happened a couple of weeks ago when we beat them 4. It's maybe the opening day of the season, the 1-1, that might be a little bit similar to the type of game we're in store for today.
Well, Klopp has said earlier in the interview, it's 0-0. You know, we're starting off level. And it's one of those who wants to be the team that will go and attack people and go and win the game, not just sit back and hope things are going to happen, which Chelsea did at Anfield. But Liverpool need to do exactly what they did in that game, because I keep saying it's a completely different game.
Do you have a feeling that this is going to go beyond the 90 minutes? It so often does when Liverpool are concerned, but, you know, that was an example there, Ray, at the start of the season where there was very little to split them. Well, the 2 finals a couple of years ago, nothing to split them at all.
That's the great thing about football, but you just don't know. You know, we've seen games between these two sides, as the manager said earlier, the 2 cup finals 2 years ago, but they're extraordinary games, great games of football, no goals in them, but brilliant to watch. I expect goals today. Why? Because if you look at Liverpool over the course of this season, they've been absolutely devastating in front of goal. You know, they've got so many goals in them. You can score from it. A variety of areas on the pitch. Lots of people are in good form at the moment. Lots of confidence in the team. And you watch when the players walk out. That's always an indicator for me. When I say the players coming out before the match, Liverpool players come out and they're strutting at the moment. Not arrogance, it's belief. It's the confidence in each other that they can go out there and to perform to a very high level. But I think we've all said, all of us here, said, be ready for a fight. Be ready and be prepared for what Chelsea are going to offer early on in the game. First 20 minutes for me is absolutely crucial. You can't just allow the opposition to come on to you. You've got to be prepared for that. They're going to come out and they're going to be after you from minute 1. And if Liverpool are prepared for that, with the quality they've got on their side, they will create chances, they will score goals. And I think set plays could be key in the game today as well.
What we did see there, Ronnie, was obviously a lot of changes since Liverpool lifted this trophy last time, but a lot of experienced winners in there that will be very good at managing the game, whatever happens in there today.
That's a big one at Wembley, managing the game and the crowd. If you can get your crowd at it as well, like Klopp loves to get the crowd involved, I think that will help. If Chelsea get up in the game, their crowd will be right behind them, and starts to get a little bit more difficult, and then you start to struggle. Then you're thinking all the time, how do we get out of this? How can we get back into the game? Which way are we going to do it? And if they do get ahead and going into the last few minutes, Liverpool, they need to, as you say, just make the game simple as much as they can to just cruise to the end.
Well, the atmosphere is building inside here. There's all of the flags that you can imagine that we're really looking forward to reading as we go. That is it for part 1. We're going to say goodbye here to Ray for the moment as well. He's heading up to join Steve Hunter in the commentary position, and we will pause for a few minutes. During the break, you'll see the journey the Reds have been on to get to this final this afternoon. To take us there, Andy Robertson reflecting on what days like this mean to the players and the fans alike.
Liverpool's League Cup once again.
Wembley's an amazing day out. We've been very fortunate that we've had quite a few of them since my time here, and our fans are always incredible at Wembley. They love filling Wembley with red, and we look forward to it. It's exciting again, a chance to win a trophy and things like that. It's something to look forward to. It's something to be excited about as a fan, because it's always nice going to Wembley, like I said, and like I said, hopefully we can get another trophy for the club, because the lads probably deserve it, but we know you don't always get what you deserve in this game, and it's up to us to put in a very good performance at Wembley, and hopefully that's enough to win the trophy.
The quest for new silverware starts for Liverpool once again as they enter the Carabao Cup for the first time this season. And now Liverpool have been caught short. The opportunity as the ball goes past Jones, and it's Casey McAteer who slots home. That's Gravenberch. This is Gakpo. Goal. That's Liverpool's equaliser. That's a lovely ball by Endo. That's Dominic Szoboszlai! Oh, that's electrifying! Gonza with Justin. Quansa's beaten him. And Quansa's flying here. And oh yes! What a goal! Diogo Jota! That breakthrough. Elliott looking to do that right now. Saved by the goalkeeper. Not this time. In by Cody Gakpo. Scott. And that is in this time. Now he can have a go at the defender and go for goal! It's absolutely fantastic. Thomas Line. It's an absolutely stunning strike. Nunez. Jones. It's a brilliant ball. Oh, it's a stunning goal. Now Gakpo. Liverpool looking to put this to bed. And they've done just that. Bowen. Oh, it's a great effort. Super goal. It's Salah with a run on goal. This will end it if he scores. He does score. There's Jones. They're looking for another. They've got another. Sublime. That's come off Van Dijk. And here's Pereira. And Bradley tries to make a challenge. Williams danced his way through. And Fulham lead. That's nicely done by Jota. This is Curtis Jones. Oh, it's in! Liverpool are level. Darwin Nunez. Liverpool have turned it around. That's brilliant from Quansa. Here's Luis Diaz. That's beautiful from Luis Diaz, and it's squeezed in. Clear daylight now in the semi-final. Diop who got to the ball now. That's Wilson. That's beautiful. Away from Bradley and across the face of goal and in. And Liverpool have done it again. Their special relationship with the Football League Cup continues, and so Luis Diaz's early goal sends Liverpool through to Wembley once again.
So Wembley awaits the Reds and the Blues facing off in the Carabao Cup final, a fourth meeting between these two sides at the National Stadium. It's currently 2-1 to Liverpool, thanks to those penalty wins in the two cups a few years ago. Chelsea with the FA Cup win back in 2012 as well. Well, welcome back to Matchday Live, presented by Standard Chartered. Ronnie Whelan and Stephen Warnick still alongside me, and we've just watched the journey the Reds went on to get here as well. Unlike seasons past when the manager has rotated the lineup for the early cup games, it hasn't really been a massive drop-off, and he's been able to name strong teams as well. Such was the strength of his squad. Yeah, it was, and I'm sure he'd want that strength again today, but it doesn't seem like he's going to have it. But listen, I think what Jurgen's been able to do in this sort of competition is blood the youngsters. It was a competition that I was blooded in when I was a youngster as well, but there's more trust to bring more through at a time to give them the games. There's also, because of the size of the squad, an opportunity to give you fringe players or players coming back from injuries the opportunity to play as well. So it's a competition that favours everyone within the squad, and certainly the academy players as well coming through. Brilliant competition for them. Leicester were first up, Ronnie. It was a bit of a banana skin look about it, wasn't it? Leicester flying in the Championship. They had to work hard for it as well.
Yeah, you have to work hard to get through it. I can't really remember the team from that day, but it was always going to be difficult versus Leicester. They're going all out to try and get through. They won't be changing players, Leicester. They'll have all their top team out. But like you say, a little bit of a sticky one, but we got through it in the end.
Really tricky game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Leicester are a good team, obviously under new management, and they're probably, at this time when we played them, they were probably at the height of their capabilities, because they were flying in the Championship. They've had a little bit of a blip now, so it's not like we've played them when they're on a bad run. They were at the top of the game when they played them, and that was a tough night for the team.
Bournemouth were up next. It was blustery, as it always tends to be on the south coast. Darwin Nunez written all over this game, really.
Yeah, I mean, the goal's phenomenal, isn't it, when you think about his performance in this game. But it's never an easy place to go. Again, I go back to form and where they were at. Iraola, new manager, a little bit of a lack of not understanding, but knowledge of how his teams were really playing at the time, and I think they were a little bit unsure of how they were meant to approach the game. But this moment from Darwin Núñez, it sums him up in a way. The poor first touch, but then the ability then to nip inside and to deliver that strike is
like a Ronnie Whelan goal, that, Ron.
You went that high up the pitch, were you, Ron?
No.
Whelan bends,
but
you might
games like that, Bournemouth, are always difficult, aren't they, in the cup especially.
Yeah.
They'll be wanting to stay in all the way through to the final, but no, they did well again that night, Liverpool. Great goal from Núñez.
Each different step of the way, West Ham was one of those ties you're thinking this could get a little bit tricky for them now. It was sandwiched in between Manchester United and Arsenal. Where are our priorities going to lie? But then they turn in a performance like this, which was the standout.
You watch so many games with Liverpool, and sometimes within a game they get on a roll, and there's really no stopping them whatever you do. It was a bit like this with the West Ham game. They just get it into a situation where they're just going to close down quickly, like Luton the other night. That's why Klopp was so happy, because that's what he wants. And they do it, they close you down, and hit you so quickly, and then they get goals the way of... the best team to watch, Liverpool, when they get on a run like that and there's no stopping them.
You can't help thinking about Curtis Jones here, Stephen, can you? He's played in 4 major semi-finals, never a final. It's a record in terms of a player that's gone to that stage and not played in the centrepiece. And you feel for him, don't you, today?
Devastated for him, really am, because you want to play in the big games, you want to remember them at the end of your career. You don't want to look back and think, I was the nearly man who got to the semi-finals and never was able to play in a final. But much like we were saying before, I think it's almost summed up Curtis's career at the moment. It's been a little bit stop-start, and it's been very unfortunate for him at times, and I do feel for him. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he's an exceptional player. I really do. I champion him all the time. I always sort of talk about his capabilities. I think we're a better team when he's in it. I think because he understands exactly what Jurgen's after from a tactical point of view. When Ronnie talks about closing down, I think our best pressing comes from him, and he's almost the trigger for it. And I think that's where, unfortunately, today we'll miss his energy and his understanding in a game like this today.
We draw Fulham in the semi-finals. That's the point at which most people inside here today were starting to look at prices of trains, what are hotels like. We did enough in the first leg to almost hold them at bay in the second leg, really.
Yeah, over 2 legs, you're going to expect Liverpool to do it, aren't you? Over 2 legs.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, like you said, because it's Fulham Premiership. They'll want to go through to the next round, but they got the job done. Curtis again. They did enough to go away and go through comfortably in the end.
Yeah, and here we are at a stage at which we can celebrate the final again. It was a really tricky looking trip for Liverpool to go there and get the job finished.
Well, the big thing is how do Fulham approach the game in the second leg? Do they go all out? If they do that, it suits you. If they sit in and sit deep, fair enough, you go on and draw the game and win it comfortably, or go through comfortably. But Fulham made a fight of it, they really did, which you'd expect them to, because they want to get in the final as well. But like Ronnie says, over 2 legs, you'd fully expect Liverpool against Fulham to come out on top. It doesn't always work that way, but over the course of the 2 games, the quality was there, really was, and it shone through.
Atmosphere is starting to really ramp up here. They've got live DJs inside Wembley Stadium as the fans make their way in. We've already heard from the boss, of course. What about his counterpart in the Chelsea hot seat? This is the second major final between Mauricio Pochettino and Jurgen Klopp. You know what happened in that final in Madrid. Different loyalties now, but the same job, trying to get one over on a manager who's already delivered 6 major trophies.
For us, like a coaching staff, and of course we have the possibility. We have 90 minutes to achieve that, and yes, we are going to fight. I think the team is ready. We are going to be very competitive, and it's an amazing chance for us.
You said there's been a change since the Liverpool game. Is that a mentality thing? Is the mentality of the players changed?
But it's not fair to say only mentality. I think too many things change. I think always when it's all the young teams always need time to be more mature and improve in different areas, but it's not only in our mentality. I think when we talk about to play football or to compete, I think is in the whole areas that you need to improve, and I think now the team is improving, and yes, maybe we have the chance, to be more consistent in the way that we compete. In the last 3 games, I think the team competed really, really well.
Jurgen Klopp was asked the question whether Liverpool were favourites for this game. He said definitely not. What do you think?
Yeah, because he's one of the best, with Pep, coaches on the world. And he's clever enough, and he knows that when you arrive and you play a final, always circumstances can happen. And of course, I think if they are not the favorite, we are not the favorite. It's a final that you cannot say it's a favorite. If he said that, for me, it's Liverpool a favorite because after I think 8 years, and in the last few years they have the experience to compete. For many our players, not only new in this competition, in Premier League, in the Carabao Cup, if not for some of them, is maybe the first final, That is why make favorite them, under my opinion, but he's clever enough to say, okay, 50-50.
Yeah, it was an interesting press conference, which we'll get to with Maurizio Pochettino, Ronnie Whelan and Stephen Warnock here. Special guests as we go. Jason McAteer has joined us as well. Always great to see him live instead of a Zoom camera.
I got like absorbed over. It's like one of them. Come on. I just ended up in. I'm not really meant to be here. I just ended up here.
What, at Wembley or?
No, here. LFC TV, wasn't it? It's like, whoa, I'm in.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm a little bit nervous. I think because obviously Jurgen's announced he's leaving, I want a bit of silverware as a sign-off. Obviously we've got more opportunities, but we're here at Wembley, 90 minutes away, 120, whatever, away from that trophy. If we don't win anything else, win today and not win anything else, we've still got a bit of silverware, haven't we, and go thanks to it. So I'm a little bit like, nerves are jangling. I think with the injuries as well, we don't know the team, do we? So we don't know how that's going to play out. And plus Chelsea have found a little bit of form in the last 3 games. I think City done them the world of good. I think they were very passive against Liverpool. The 4-1 was a bit of an injustice to them because I think they're better than that. I think they paid Liverpool far too much respect and got done by a really good Liverpool performance. Don't think it's going to be like that today. Different dynamics. Jackson adds something a bit different. Cole Palmer, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. Very good player, but if he has a good game, he's going to be a handful. Raheem Sterling as well. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
It's interesting, isn't it? You look at that model of Chelsea, you look at the 5 trophyless seasons that Pochettino had at Tottenham. He's building this team, of course, for the next generation, but in the players that you see there, real strength, real Premier League quality. Cole Palmer, arguably one of the Premier League signings of the season. Very good. And listen, the model that Todd Bowley went for is a gamble. It's a big gamble. 8-year contract, spent, as we know, just under £1 billion, wasn't it? They need success, obviously, for financial fair play reasons. They need it quick. For them, and Pochettino on the playing side of things, it's great to get them to a final because it's all part of the learning curve. The lads will tell you once you've won something, it adds something to your makeup, doesn't it? You want to come back and play here. You learn from that experience, and if they win, all of a sudden confidence grows within the camp and they become believers again, don't they? I think he's done a really good job. He was thrown like a kid in a sweet shop. He was thrown in lots to choose from, but he had to whittle them down to a way he wanted to play. And he's done that really. He's found a bit of consistency with his team, but they are young. There is some experience in there. Thiago Silva, I know he's on the wrong side of, 39 now? And obviously you've got Fernandes, World Cup winner. There's that experience is in there, but it's got to knit together. It's coming. It is coming for Pochettino. I met him in the World Cup, actually. I thought he's a great fella, really good to talk to. I know he's meticulous the way he does his team talks and the way he sets his team up, but he's got good man management skills as well, and I like that about him, and I think you need that at Chelsea. Young team, I think they'll work well under him.
I like him. I'm exactly the same. I was fortunate enough in the summer that they were on tour in America and I was out there sort of covering Chelsea and looking at them. And tactically he knew there was a lot to do, a lot to work with, but also he knew that, like Jason says, he's been given a team that he doesn't really want. I think there'll be more wholesale changes, I really do. I think given time, there'll be players that he doesn't want, but he's got to find a structure now because effectively, it doesn't matter what he wants, it's what he's got at the moment and he's got to deal with that, and every manager's under pressure to turn things around. He's got the capabilities though. Him and Jesus' number 2 are extremely sort of diligent. They look at every detail. They make sure that everything that they do going into a game, the information they give the players is massive. That they don't go into it thinking, oh, we don't know what our jobs are and what we're doing. They're very well organised, the two of them, and I think it'll, again, going out into today's game will be tough for Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool players are out in the centre circle at the moment, taking pictures of probably where their family will be as they take in this encounter. Will it be in the starting lineup? Will it be from the bench not too far away now? And the National Stadium, of course, prime for another epic encounter between these two teams. And finding their seats as well, many of the fans inside as we speak. Becky Davis has also been down Wembley way to gauge the feeling amongst the Red supporters who've made their way to Anfield South this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say they're feeling pretty confident, Pete. We are down here just near the fan zone. We moved down a bit away from Wembley Way and we're chatting to these lads who, everyone's very excited, I can tell you. These lads came down yesterday. You're making it a weekend of it.
Making a weekend of it, always do. Love the atmosphere at Wembley. Can't wait for today. Let's bring back that silverware again.
Just tell us, when you walk down here, you see the arch, how does it make you feel? You got the butterflies in the tummy?
Yeah, big time. We were saying yesterday we missed the we missed the ramps going up with the fans segregating, but it is amazing. It's a great stadium, and yeah, it brings its own atmosphere, doesn't it?
What about yourself? Are you feeling confident? Chelsea, obviously, it went pretty well at Anfield a few weeks back.
It went well. I was very confident, and then we came here today and I just saw that. I was like, I don't know about this, but...
Don't say that.
No, I'm confident. It's just depending on, obviously, if Salah and Nunes can perform a miracle, come back, it's perfect. I think we'll have them if they're there for sure.
Yeah, okay. And in terms of, obviously, you'd love to see Virgil van Dijk potentially lifting first trophy as Liverpool skipper. How much would that mean to you?
Oh, so much. He's been an amazing player. Really, I think when Klopp brought Van Dijk in, everything changed for the team. It'd been going well, progressing. Everything changed from that day. To see Virgil lifting a trophy, getting what he deserves, would be absolutely phenomenal.
Okay, I'm going to put you all on the spot. Score predictions. Are you bringing home the cup?
3-1. We're bringing home the cup.
1-1, go Pens, and we win.
A bit more cautious from you. What about yourself?
2-1.
2-1. Okay. We are very, very confident here, I think. Back to you guys.
Everybody's wrapped up warm, and those more diligent of fans will know that there's rain forecast. You can hear a sprinkling or two as we speak here. That is it for part 2, done and dusted. Don't forget you can find details of how you can subscribe to LFC TV and LFC TV Go online at liverpoolfc.com/watch. As mentioned, audio commentary will be live from Wembley on your TV sets there, like the old days with the radio. Stephen Ray continuing to build up from 2:30 and taking us straight into the action from 3 o'clock. And then we'll be back down pitch side from around 5:15 to reflect on the game. That is, of course, if it goes just 90 minutes. And then look out for the debut of the Reaction podcast, which will be available wherever you get your podcasts from at around 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be analysing the action, have exclusive interviews with the players, as you come to expect now, as well as hearing from the boss. The Reaction will have you covered in there tonight. Then there will be the full match replay on both LFC TV and Go from 9 o'clock tonight, and look out for our exclusive behind the scenes as we go inside Wembley on YouTube and Facebook on Monday as well. That is you covered then. We're going to pause for a quick breather here. That is the important team news on the way next. Plus we'll hear from Pep Lijnders and the skipper Virgil van Dijk, all coming up in the next part. And to take us there, the hero of Wembley 2 years ago, Quivim Kelleher, is hoping to make memories once again in the Carabao Cup final.
Excitement within the whole club. Anytime there's a cup final, so yeah, obviously buzzing to get going there.
I mean, Chelsea again. You know, you only faced them a few weeks ago, but it feels like they're almost in a completely different shape than they were when you beat them at Anfield.
Yeah, I think obviously since that game. First of all, I think in that game we played really well. So I don't think it was really them. Maybe they didn't play to their best, but I thought we played really well. But since that, you know, they've had some really good results and are looking good. So I think, you know, we're expecting a really tough game, and I think the last few games against Chelsea we've drawn quite a lot as well, so I think, listen, it's going to be a tough game no matter what. It's a final as well, so yeah, it's going to be a difficult game.
You've been brilliant in goal. One solid kick. Brilliant. Good lad. Whoa! It's Kepa. Oh, and he's missed. And it's Liverpool's League Cup once again.
and what your memories of playing in the final previously as well. How much did that help you?
Yeah, obviously it'll be, you know, nothing but good memories of that final. It was a really nice moment for myself and for the team. So yeah, it'll be a good experience to draw from, and then hopefully, you know, we can get a good result there again. Was that the best day of your career so far? Probably, yeah. Hopefully Sunday will be better, so I can have a new one. But yeah, obviously it was a really nice moment for me.
It's League Cup royalty day at Wembley as Liverpool and Chelsea once again meet in a domestic cup final. Havertz playing the ball for Aspilicueta across the face of goal. It's a brilliant save. And it's helped on for Naby Keita. It's the man who's just arrived. Oh, and Mundy's made an astonishing save. And there's a run by Mount. Fleck stays down. This is Chelsea's moment. Liverpool survive again. It's Alexander-Arnold, it's Sadio Mane, and arriving is Joel Matip. Stuart Atwell, with the help of the monitor, ruins the big moment for Joel Matip. Stay calm, you've been brilliant in goal, one solid kick, brilliant. Get in! It's Kepa. Oh, and he's missed! And it's Liverpool's League Cup once again! It's the oldest cup competition in world football, and it sees Liverpool and Chelsea in the final. Well, that's another ball for Luis Diaz, and he's in on goal, and he's denied by Mendy. And Pulisic, and here's Alonso. His first touch wasn't good. Another brilliant one-on-one save. Luis Diaz sorts his feet out. Oh, it's hit the post, and Milner's cross, and round the back. Oh, it's come off the post again. Mount. Alisson saves it. The Greek international Kostas Tsimikas has won the FA Cup for Liverpool. It's 2 out of 2 at Wembley.
The transformation of the National Stadium into Anfield South is well underway. 32,000 plus Reds expected here, ready to give their all to a Liverpool side looking to make it a hat-trick of Wembley wins over Chelsea in as many years. Welcome back to Wembley. We are just minutes away from finding out who's made it and has been given the nod to start for Liverpool this afternoon. Before we do that, let's hear from Jurgen's right-hand man, Pep Lijnders, who was given the job of facing the press ahead of the final.
To team news, who's fit, who's available, is there any positive news for you?
I think the good thing we always did in the past is that we look to what we have. It brought us success in the past. We tried to keep that up, and I feel really happy with that because in Holland you say like every disadvantage has its advantage. So with a few injuries you get young players, you get players who didn't play 5 games in a row, but they can show up now, so that's really cool. And this season is a season where we created already 3 or 4 new teams in one season, what didn't happen a lot in the last year. So it's cool. It's a compliment for our squad. It's a compliment for the academy.
What would it mean to this team to actually lift this first trophy of the season? Liverpool have got a fabulous record in the League Cup in its many guises, but to this new Liverpool 2.0 that's come together so quickly, how could it enable even more progress, build momentum between now and the end of the season if you are successful?
Yeah, but 95 minutes against a really good opponent. An opponent who last week drew against City in a really special game, I think. But I think the most important thing is the way we're going to play there. For me, that's the main thing. That if we can play like the second half against Luton, if we can play what you just said, 14 out of 15 games, with the style we're going into that game, if these young boys can show a passion, if they can show their personality, we can really show our personality there. Then that's for me that would be already a good thing. And then the end result, you don't know. No? Special games need special performances, so we have to focus on the performance, and special performances need that we lift the stadium. We need the fans. They need to we go for it. Yeah.
You've already hinted at the every cloud has a silver lining aspect of players and key players, and so many players being ruled out because of injury. But what we saw in the second half in particular on Wednesday night against Luton, how much can it help not just the very young players, but the players that are in and around the team but not playing as regularly as they'd like? How much can being involved in a game like this and playing a key part, how much can that aid their progress?
Yeah, you're completely right. No? You're on the spot side. That's why I like Luton, no? Because you go half-time and you see the frustration in the boys and you see like this not working, but a lot of good things even first half. The problem was really in the last 20 meters of the pitch, how we play the last pass, how we create, how we kept the overview, these moments. But the frustration half-time, and that we have to calm them down, boys. Like, if we do this and this better, everything will be right. Give them patience, give them faith, give them belief. And that's why I was so pleased as well, because you know that game is really important going into a final. Anyway, great second half. And the boys were growing, so these young boys need that, no? And then you think, wow, the last 10 years we created culture in this club. We created some real culture.
They've got the right team behind them, haven't they? It's just gone 2 o'clock, 1 hour to go till Wembley as a sea of colour and noise. The team news is just in. Let's go live to Becky Davis for the Liverpool team lineup.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Pete. As Pep Lijnders did say in his press conference, there were big decisions to be made ahead of them naming this Liverpool team here this afternoon at Wembley. Most notably on the fitness of Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez. Could they make their returns here against Chelsea this afternoon? And possibly Dominic Szoboszlai as well. Would he be fit to start here? I can tell you the answers to all of those questions. Unfortunately, probably not the answer you were looking for, but it is no. None of those three are in the Liverpool squad this afternoon, but still a very strong starting lineup for the Reds. It is 2 changes in total from that game against Luton midweek. In come Ibou Konaté and Andy Robertson. Here is the Liverpool team sheet for you in full length. Kevin Kelleher, what a magical competition this has already proved to be for him. Of course, converted the 11th penalty for Liverpool to give us the cup back in 2022. He starts in goal this afternoon. Wataru Endo is in the Reds starting 11, as of course is Virgil van Dijk leading the team out for the first final here under his captaincy. Should he score today, incidentally, Virgil van Dijk, he would become the oldest player to score for Liverpool in a Wembley final. 32 years and 232 days would beat Dirk Kuyt's record. He currently holds it from when he scored against Cardiff in 2012. As I say, Ibou Konaté returns to the Liverpool starting lineup. Luis Diaz keeps his place up front. Should he score in this game, he would become only the 3rd Liverpool player in history to net against Chelsea in 3 different games in the same season. Alexis McAllister in the Reds starting lineup. What a creative key he has been in this Liverpool midfield recently. 2 assists and a goal in his last 2 outings for Alexis McAllister. Cody Gakpo, he scored in every round of this competition this season. Can he continue that streak here at Wembley this afternoon? Harvey Elliott, of course, played in that final back in 2022. Wasn't originally in the squad, was he? Thiago was injured in the warm-up, if you recall. Naby Keita took his place, and Harvey Elliott got a place on the bench as a result when he dropped out and went on to score the 9th penalty in the shootout that day. And the Reds starting 11 completed by Andy Robertson, Ryan Gravenberch and Connor Bradley. On the bench today for Liverpool, Adrian, Joe Gomez, Kostas Tsimikas and some young faces too this afternoon, chosen by Jurgen Klopp. Bobby Clark, James McConnell, Lewis Kumas, Jayden Danns, Jarell Quansah and Trey Nyoni. What an experience for them, getting their first taste of life at Wembley. So that is the team Jurgen Klopp hopes will see him lift this trophy for the 2nd time. 9 times, of course, overall Liverpool have won the League Cup. Only twice, though, of those games have been settled within 90 minutes. Let's hope the Reds can buck that trend here today and get it done without the need for penalties, rather. We definitely do not want that, do we? More to come on the Chelsea team very shortly, but I can tell you they are unchanged from the side that drew against Manchester City last weekend. Back to you for now.
Thank you, Becky. Was probably not the news that you wanted at home, but it is what it is, and Liverpool probably knew last night what they were faced with, Ronnie. The experienced players were out there, but not part of this Liverpool squad today. Ultimately, it's disappointing, but we have to get on with it.
Yeah, nothing you can do. They're injured. He's not got a chance at the manager. We've got a long road to the end of the season. Needs every player as fit as possible. Just thinking about Joe Gomez, he'd be sitting in there like I was in '88. I've played all right, why am I playing? Yeah, but Conor Bradley keeps his place, which is great for the kid.
Yeah, I suppose that was the only decision really to make if he knew what we know now during the week, that maybe the big decision was going to be over who played left back.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. Nice problems to have though, when you've got Joe Gomez playing so well, and he can play either left back or right back, and it was which one do you go with? But I think he's made the right decision personally. I think Andrew Robertson's an outstanding left back, and is what he brings you energy-wise going forward, experience on the pitch as well. But Conor Bradley has brought something completely different. That he's brought that energy, quality, goals, assists. I said it last night when we did the preview show. Great in 1v1 position defensively as well, in going 1v1, and I think psychologically in his head as well, he's played well against Chelsea. So in his head, he knows that he's got the upper hand against whoever plays on that right-hand side. He'll be thinking, I can play like I did in that game, and draw on that experience of having a great night.
You know, even when his defending's brilliant, I think he's a very, very good defender. But he's now starting to step into midfield.
Yeah.
You know, it's a young lad. You go, I need you to step into midfield at times. And he's stepped into midfield and he's kept everything going against Luton. He's stepped into midfield and he keeps the pressure up from that central midfield area. So for a young kid to be doing all that at this early stage of his career is amazing.
You've been there, Ronnie. You wanted us to talk about your goal. We're going to get it in here because I think Rushy only beat you by something like 25 days as the youngest ever goal scorer in a final for Liverpool, because you're very close in age. But is there that young, fearless nature about you at that age to play in a major final like this, to just think, I mean, he's played at Wembley before and won in a Football League trophy for Bolton when he played 50-odd games, so this will hold no fear for him, will it?
Wouldn't think so. When you're that age, it's just me and Rushy were like two kids. You know, we're 19, 20 years of age. You're coming to Wembley, you're playing the cup final at Wembley. You're not going to, yes, you will be nervous, but it's not going to be, you're never going to get blamed if we lose. Just go out and enjoy the whole thing.
What a great way of looking at it.
Yeah, you won't.
No.
Let's see Ronnie's goal, shall we? Because he brought it with him on a tape and said, can you put this on at some point today? Ronnie Whelan.
The great Ray Clemens.
Yeah.
Great lad, Clem. But he couldn't save that. I was waiting forever for Kenny to give me that one. I thought he was going to look in Clem's near post and try and get it in there.
You just realise how high those advertising boards actually are when you stood really close to them.
That's not the problem. It's coming back away.
A little bit about that left side then, Stephen, because...
I've got another one here. Whelan's called it.
Just thinking of everybody that spilt their tea at home. The left position there, Diaz knows Robertson inside out, and likewise, Diaz almost feels like Liverpool's main man today.
Yeah, he does. I think what he's got to bring is that game-changing ability, which we know he's got. I think one of the things that's being aimed at him, and rightly so, is that as much as he would look that he was causing teams problems, the assists and goals weren't there to add to it. So he's added them to his game now, and now he's understanding that he's got to contribute because he's got two players sat behind him on the bench who are desperate to get a game. Now he's almost your go-to guy in this game. Where can he rise to the big occasion? I think he can. I think he's an outstanding footballer. I think that the way he runs at people 1v1 situations never really shows the defender that he's annoyed. And from a defensive point of view, often you're looking for signs. You're thinking, have I got him? Is he worried? Is he thinking that he can't beat me? What am I thinking here? He wants the ball every single time, and he'll go outside you, and if he can't beat on the outside, he'll try on the inside as well. And I think that's what you've got to do. You've got to find solutions. And the thing with a winger is, they only need one solution. When you find one solution, you get one good pass. You can either create a goal or score a goal, and that's a defender's nightmare. That's the worry about it all the time. Is might be the 89th minute. You might have played out of this world against him all game. Skips by you one time in the 89th minute. That's the only thing that's remembered in that game. So he's a big player today.
He's getting to be a pest. You know, he's one of those players you play against and you're thinking, I don't want to play against him. Diego Jota's the same for me now. They lean into you, they fall on you, they get little nicks at you, they're snapping away all the time. The amount of work he puts in a match day, Diaz, is unbelievable. You watch him all over the place. He's running everywhere. He's trying so hard all the time.
Cody Gakpo will feel as well as Liverpool's main man, almost, you know, carrying that number 9 in a figurative way, the pressure for maybe the scoring of goals. Liverpool need a bit of a ruthless streak tonight, do they not, against Chelsea?
Yeah, you might only get one opportunity, might get two, might miss one, and you might be thinking, am I going to get another one? He needs a big performance today. He's very, very capable. A little bit inconsistent for me at times. What's his best position? Where do you want him to play? I think he's got to understand today the ball has to stick with him, has to make sure that he brings others into play, whether it's Harvey Elliott coming in off the right-hand side and sort of linking to get shots away, because that's where Harvey Elliott's at his strongest. It's not going down the line and beating a player 1v1. He wants a bounce pass, he wants to be able to link up, and I think that's what he does so well. But also as well, he's going to have to isolate Disasi. You've got to take him out the game as much as you can. You've almost got to draw him into midfield. If you draw him into midfield, Diaz will then find positions in behind, and also Harvey Elliott to get runners in behind that space. And with Gravenberch playing in there as well, if you can almost pull one of the centre-backs out, he then becomes your next centre-forward, if you like, and that can cause big problems for Chelsea because they don't deal with runners from midfield. Just to touch on something else, Pete, I think Gravenberch being in that midfield and Gakpo, if they alternate it cleverly enough, Chelsea's midfield aren't equipped to deal with runners from midfield, and they'll get a lot of joy from that. So the relationship between Gakpo and Gravenberch will be vitally important today.
Here's a young kid here with 100 appearances for Liverpool in Harvey Elliott now, Ron, and he'd have been desperately disappointed in this game a couple of years ago that he wasn't even in the squad. Thiago gets injured in the warm-up, all of a sudden, get your kit on, scores the penalty, the 9th penalty, I think, in the run-up, and now it's his opportunity to start a game at Wembley.
He's starting to become a veteran, if you understand. What is he, 20 years of age and 100 games? An amazing stat for the kid. But he does keep things rolling together. Now, this season, he's been very, very good coming off the bench. Now, we got to get the full game against Luton the other day. Did well enough, scored a goal, which is great. This is a big game now. Can he show that he is ready now at 20 years of age to be one of the leaders on the pitch? I'll go out, I'll show you where, come on, he'll get behind people. Because that's his role now. He's getting to that age where he's now supposed to be able to speak and tell everyone what to do. You've got Virgil, you've got Robbo, they all do it. He should be the next one that's staying. Even at 20 years of age, he should be on the pitch today telling people where to go, pulling people in the right places.
But you'll know more than anyone, Ronnie, a game like this can change your career, can't it? As in, you can get something out of this where you go, I'm the main man, I'm the go-to guy. That can change him, it can make him a starter off the back of him, to give him belief, to realise that he is. I mean, he's a fantastic footballer, but it just sometimes needs something within your career to kick you on. I still think there's an element of, at the moment, he feels like, well, I've got time, I'm a youngster, but he's not a youngster in terms of game time.
The boos that just accompanied Stephen Warnock weren't for him a second ago. The Chelsea goalkeepers are out warming up. That's the Reds team all sorted. What about the Blues? Let's go live to Becky Davis for a full rundown of the Chelsea starting 11.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, Pete. You heard from Maurizio Pochettino a little bit earlier on. The Chelsea boss absolutely desperate to get his hands on some silverware here and salvage what has been, hasn't it, by and large, a pretty disappointing season for Chelsea. But there are signs, maybe, just maybe, they are maybe turning the corner. They are, of course, unbeaten in their last 3 games, 2 wins, and, of course, the final game of those 3, that very impressive draw against Manchester City. And Pochettino so impressed with that point against City that he sees no reason to change his starting lineup for this afternoon's game. Chelsea unchanged from that game against City. Let's bring you their team sheet in full this afternoon. George Petrovic is in goal. He's been involved in such a battle, hasn't he, with Robert Sanchez for that number 1 spot, but the jersey at the moment certainly seems to be his. He starts in goal for Chelsea this afternoon. Axel Disasi scored on his debut in the draw at Stamford Bridge with Liverpool on the opening day of the season, and has marshalled the backline very well, hasn't he, in the absence of Thiago Silva. Starts for Chelsea this afternoon, as does Raheem Sterling, a name we know very well. 139 games for Liverpool for Raheem Sterling. He could win, would you believe it, his 6th League Cup. The previous 5, of course, all with Manchester City, and his first coming in 2016, as if we need reminding, against Liverpool. Enzo Fernandez and Nicholas Jackson also in the Chelsea starting lineup, as is Cole Palmer, already scored at Wembley this season for Manchester City, that goal, though, in the FA Community Shield clash with Arsenal, the curtain raiser to the season. Ben Chilwell, Conor Gallagher as well, has scored 3 goals in his last 3 appearances. One to watch for Chelsea today. Moise Caicedo, Levi Colwill, Malo Gusto complete the starting 11 for the Blues. A few options on the bench for Maurizio Pochettino. Christopher Nkunku, most notably, of course, got the goal at Anfield in that 4-1 defeat for Chelsea a few weeks ago. So that is the Chelsea team looking to win their 6th League Cup here today, which would take them to 3rd on the all-time winners list and give Maurizio Pochettino the perfect present as well. It is his birthday next week, and I imagine a cup here today, top of his wish list. Back to you.
Let's hope it's a miserable start to his birthday celebrations at Wembley here today. Probably less anticipation in seeing the Chelsea team run, but same as that, they're unchanged, they have injury problems of their own, but you can see the strength that they have available to them today.
But you don't go and spend nearly £1 billion on players that are not that good. They can all play. They didn't at Anfield, and they let themselves down. But they're going to cause you problems. Sterling will cause you problems with his pace, and he's playing the best football I've seen him play all season, Sterling. Palmer will create chances for a lot of people. He score goals if given the opportunity. Yeah, even with their injuries, they've got top-class players to play.
Main man, Cole Palmer?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'd say so. I think Raheem Sterling will be wanting to prove a point today, but Cole Palmer's almost the go-to guy. He's the one who drifts around the pitch, who wants to find pockets of space where when fullbacks go forward, he'll go and stand in them areas and he'll make it difficult and he'll ask you questions when you vacate that space, and he stands there and you're thinking, if it breaks down and it goes to him, he's going to cause us problems. He's got immense quality. He's got such great belief in his own ability. This won't faze him whatsoever. He'll enjoy this occasion today. He'll look forward to this occasion. He'll relish it, thinking, this is the type of stage that I left City to be on. Yeah. A lot of people wondered why he left City. He wanted to be a starter. He believed he should be a starter at Man City, and almost his ego pushed him out the door, his own ego, because he felt he was good enough to play. And I think what we've seen this season is he's a great player. He really is. So you're going to have to be alive or aware of where he takes up positions on the pitch. But he's got a nice understanding with Jackson as well. Jackson's a clever player. He's a little bit hit and miss, a little bit hot and cold. If he's on his game today and them two link up, they'll cause problems.
Yeah, they've got great movement, haven't they? And that pace available. Maybe Jackson hasn't got the finishing touch just yet, but he will cause Liverpool centre-backs a few headaches today.
Yeah, he will be all over them. He'll make runs in behind you. He'll go short, get a turn, run at you. Palmer will just drift into positions. It's like he hides somewhere, and then the next thing he's on the ball between your midfield and your defence, and now you're under pressure to stop him.
In terms of Sterling that you mentioned, Bradley being young, exuberant, but there will be an element of Chilwell and Sterling trying to gang up on Bradley, do you think, and double up?
Yeah, 100%. Harvey Elliott's got a big job on his hands. He's going to have to understand that he's going to have to track back, because Ben Chilwell is a very forward-thinking fullback. All he wants to do is take you the other way. He wants to go beyond Sterling. He wants to help him out. Sterling will drift inside because of that and give him that space down the side. The relationship, obviously, now is the key one is between Bradley, Endo and Konate. When they step in, when Endo covers Bradley when he goes forward, but then there's a job on the hand of then who picks up Cole Palmer when he drifts into them positions, because he'll see Endo then go into cover. It's a game of chess, Pete. That's the way football works, and especially at the top of the game, these guys see it very, very quickly in the blink of an eye. It's how quickly you react to situations. But what I will say is try not to worry about them too much. The more Conor Bradley can push Ben Chilwell back and the more he can push Raheem Sterling back, Raheem will be thinking, I don't want to be going that way, I want to be going the other way, and he'll switch off at times, and you've got to think, well, if we can create a 2v1 the other way, that's the ideal situation.
I think that is a little worry, Sterling, because I don't think he'll go that way. I don't think he'll go back.
No.
He'll want Bradley to go. So, like you said, Endo will need to be aware of that. You might have to just sit in that role of a right back nearly. And if Conor Bradley goes forward against Chilwell.
Could you see a little bit of perhaps Endo and McAllister sitting and Gravenberch being in front of them because of that reason? It almost, because we've seen McAllister play as a 6, it almost gives you that safety blanket. But then does that then take away from your press?
Yeah.
That's the fascinating thing today, isn't it? Because you're almost caught in two minds what to do.
Yeah. Well, what do you make of that, Ron, from a midfielder's perspective?
I would be just have the one in there, Endo, and let McAllister that little bit forward. It's great vision, McAllister, quick as well. If the ball comes into him, he'll give it round the corner to someone that nobody is. We've not seen it, but he has. So I know I would always have him a little further forward. I worry about Endo at times because the free kicks he gives away, the amount of times he gets caught out or takes people down to spoil their attacks, but it happens too often, and then a couple of bad decisions today and then you're in trouble.
Yeah, so what you're alluding to there is early yellow cards are not really an option on a pitch like this today.
No, not at all. No, you don't want that at all. And I think what you'll also find with Endo is he's better at facing the opposition's goal. When he's facing his own goal and he's got players coming behind him with pressure, he doesn't know how to deal with it too well. He wants to take a touch and then almost feel a player, and at times it can be too late and he gets it pinched off him. And also with Conor Gallagher playing in there, it wouldn't surprise me if Conor Gallagher just went and stood on Endo when in possession, thinking we can pinch it off him, we can take the ball off him. But I think our midfield can outrun their midfield as well, and I don't think our midfield is necessarily that athletic. But what I mean is the psychology of it. Endo doesn't want to track. Endo Fernandez doesn't want to track runners. He switches off, he ball watches. Before you know it, you can be in behind. So they've got massive vulnerabilities in their midfield.
Very few players will know him any better than his international teammate as well.
Very true.
Alexis McAllister knows his downfalls. We're all amateur psychologists, aren't we, when we're watching football? I'm just trained onto Virgil van Dijk at the moment and Ibu Konate, just passing the ball between them. Big smiles on their faces. It looks like they're in their natural habitat now. Almost this was where they were meant to be, and that fills me with enthusiasm that the nerves you were talking about before will have completely evaporated now.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. It was once I got outside the dressing room I was all right, but it was just sitting in the dressing room and listening to people like Steve McMahon singing or something, and you're going, I need to get out of here. I just need to be on that pitch. Everybody looks really, really calm at the moment, don't they? But it is 45 minutes.
It's getting closer now. And we spoke about the captain. He's leading by example as Chelsea players make their way out now. Wednesday night was huge. Another huge performance this afternoon will be needed from the captain, Virgil van Dijk, if he wants to be lifting his first silverware as the Liverpool captain. He's been speaking to Becky Davis.
Virgil, first final of the season. It's a competition that's obviously given you some great memories in the recent past. How much are you looking forward to being back at Wembley with Liverpool?
I very much look forward to it. Very much look forward to seeing all our fans there, of course, and hopefully get our first silver of the season. And obviously in this competition, a lot of youngsters have contributed to where we are at the moment. So, everyone can feel proud and connected to where we are at the moment. And I think that's why it's good that we are there again.
It is the first final as well under the Virgil van Dijk era as skipper. I mean, how proud will that make you feel to lead the team out at Wembley and hopefully lead them up the steps as well?
Yeah, very proud, very proud. Of course, it was a big, I wouldn't say relief, but the feeling of being proud was very high when we obviously got the job done at Fulham. And it will be a very proud day, special day, and hopefully we can make it the best possible outcome and by winning, obviously, the cup and taking it back to Liverpool.
We're talking about pride, but as well, I think, considering some members of this team only arrived sort of six or 7 months ago, to already have reached a final with this group, whatever the outcome is on the day, to have gelled together so quickly is a real thing to be proud of once again.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not something that we should take for granted. Obviously there's been, over the last couple of years, players left, and that's how football works at times, and new players come in, and it's not a given that you settle that quickly and like you said, gel that quickly and make sure that results are going your way, and it has been, of course, and so it will be a very good day in my opinion. And I've been there for the Carabao Cup final. We won it, and it is a very, very good day out, and hopefully we can make it a special one together with our fans by lifting the trophy.
Talk to us about that Wembley experience, because listen, hardly anybody else gets to do that on the planet. It's a very unique situation to be in when you arrive, you get in the dressing room, especially when you walk out and you look and you see the Liverpool scars. What's that feeling like? It must be very unique.
Yeah, it's a special feeling of playing finals for this football club is something out of this world, and obviously you don't want to lose finals first and foremost, but it's always a special thing, and it's the first chance on silverware. Hopefully gives us, if it happens, a massive boost for the last part of the season. But no, it's amazing, and we also should enjoy the occasion, but definitely be out there and show the quality that we have.
And obviously we won't dwell too much on the boss and his departure, but so much talk around you guys wanting to sign him off in the best possible way, I guess. And is it an added incentive, between now and the end of the season to give that extra 10%?
Yeah, I think everyone reacts obviously different towards the news. Like we all said over the last couple of weeks, I think, all the players who had given reaction, but we want to focus on the task ahead of us, and obviously the final is waiting for us, and that's what we are looking forward to all together with the players, together with the staff, with the manager, and we want to make that a special day and get our first trophy of the season, and that's how we focus on the situation. And the end of the season will be probably very emotional for a lot of people, including the manager, but we're not there yet. We shouldn't look too far ahead. We should look at what is this in front of us, and that's what we want to do.
And finally, it is Chelsea in front of you on the day. Obviously, you have recently beaten them, which I'm sure will count for nothing on the day of the final. But Mauricio Pochettino has never won a trophy in England, obviously been very open about his desire to change that. They've not had the best of seasons, so this, I guess, is their best, if not only way to try and salvage something.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I think how we always have been in our success and in our focus, is that we focus on ourselves, and obviously they have their goals. But I want to look at our goals. I want to achieve our goals that we have, and we want to go out there and win the final. And we know it's going to be a tough game, because Chelsea is a very good team with very good individual players, and that can make a difference. So we have to be very good, but I'm definitely looking forward to the final, and hopefully we can make it a proud Liverpool day out of it, and get our first trophy.
Well, you won't meet a more laid-back professional footballer, I don't think, than Virgil van Dijk, because he's so comfortable with how good he is on the pitch. But this off the pitch will mean so much to me. He'll have thought a lot about the feeling he will get from leading his team up. You've been there yourself, Ronnie. It's massive, this.
Yeah, it's a big one. You always want the captaincy, but I was lucky enough that Alan Hansen was out for the season. He was injured, and then Kenny left me with the captaincy when I lifted the cup. But you do take on a responsibility, and I'm not that sort of a person, but I had to for that time the jockey was out, and it's very, very important that you are the one that leads, and he leads, Virgil. So he's got all the attributes to be a top captain. It's what was it, Troy Deeney said, and he even smells nice.
Yeah. The last one he picked up as captain was at Celtic 2015. It will feel like a long time ago, and this will almost feel like his team. You were actually saying just before, he's getting them in for a huddle now. He's even leading parts of the warm-up here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, because he'll know that they're a young dressing room and he'll want to lead by example. The fact that he's been a captain before at another club and lifted a trophy won't be as... It'll be a big thing for him to lift a trophy for Liverpool, but he's done it in the past, so it's nothing new to him, and that's a nice thing to know as well. That he won't be overthinking things the night before, the day of. It'll just be business as usual. I'm vastly experienced. I know I'm a good player. I know if we look after everything else, there's a reward at the end of it, and that's the only way you have to look at it. When he spoke in the interview there about Chelsea, he's got huge respect for Chelsea and the dangers that they bring. The more you let your mind wander and go off what the actual goal is, you won't win the game. Yeah. And that's the worry, and that's what you've got to just focus solely on the game at hand.
And they obviously have players inside that tunnel that aren't available today, Ronnie, and what they have been brilliant at Liverpool in the past couple of years is being perennial problem solvers. Yeah. They still don't have those players available to play, but should this be going against them at half-time, they've so much experience in there that can try and help it.
Oh, yes. The thing is, what we've been great at of late is getting people from the bench to come off and get into the team. As in when he needed to make substitutions, and he was calling them really, really well, and we were winning games because of the people that were coming on the pitch. We've still got people on that bench that can come on. But, you know, it's not the end of the world that a few of your players are injured, and these other players that are getting in the team and the ones that are on the bench are there to say, hang on, don't think we're a bad team because I'm in the team. We're just as good, or we feel just as good, and we'll do a job for you. And hopefully they can do that job today.
I think when you look at the Arsenal game in the FA Cup, I think it was when you had the young lads come off the bench, and you're thinking, what trust he's got in them young players to come off the bench away at the Emirates to see out a result or to get a result. I think it was 0-0 at the time, actually, wasn't it? And you're bringing on two youngsters, and I think now that's the trust element that he's got in the squad. They're not there just, I mean, they are supposed to a certain element to make numbers up, but he's shown. They're not just going to sit on the bench. I'm going to bring them on. They're going to have an impact on the game. Jane Dance comes on the other night. He has an impact straight away. Imagine what he's feeling now. He's thinking, get me on that pitch. I'm going to make a name for myself today. That's what you want as well. Kids who are desperate to get on and feel like they can have an impact.
I was talking to Lee Clark in the hotel before, Bobby Clark's dad, who's played gazillion games himself as a Premier League footballer. He said he couldn't believe how relaxed he was. He said, I'm much more nervous than he is. There will be probably an element of that bench today amongst the youngsters to think, get me on. I can change this game if it goes into extra time.
They don't want to be here to sit on the bench. They're delighted to be, but we want to be on the pitch. We want to be able to do something to make a change or whatever to get on there. I've played at Wembley. I've played in a big cup final. That's all they want to do.
Right, we are around half an hour to go before kick-off, and then we have to vacate our presentation position here. That's the Wembley rules, I'm afraid. Fear not, though, as we leave you in the capable hands of Steve Hunter and Ray Houghton to keep the build-up going. Atmosphere, as you can hear, is bubbling along nicely. Fans sound up for this one. Steve, Ray, are you guys primed up there for this as well?
Thank you so much, Pete. Yeah, it's getting louder now. It really is getting louder. Liverpool Ireland legend Ray Houghton, the man who scored those never-to-be-forgotten goals for Ireland against England and Italy in the World Cup. Of course, incredible memories playing for Liverpool as well in cup finals, winning league titles under the great Sir Kenny Dalglish. Ray, an honour to have you with us. Your reaction to the team news, well, it's frustrating. What an opportunity for some of these young kids on the bench as well.
It's the first time I've ever guessed all 11 players under Jurgen Klopp.
Wow.
Get in there. The best ever.
1-0 Ray Houghton.
Yeah, well done, Ray. As soon as you knew that the players weren't fit enough, you knew that the manager was going to play a team that virtually played against Luton. A couple of changes, obviously with Robertson coming in at left back and Canati at centre back. For the rest of the side, I thought picked itself, and there's good opportunities for the young players that are on the bench as well.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this one. Pete, it's down to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. So, to our viewers on our socials, thank you for watching. If you're not an LFC TV or LFC TV Go subscriber, you can find details of how to do that at liverpoolfc.com/watch. On the other side, as well of the break, Stephen Ray will take up the reins and guide you through what's left of the build-up, and of course, come kick-off, take you through every kick of the 2024 Carabao Cup final. We will be back down pitch side after the dust settles, when hopefully all the Reds who've made this journey down to Wembley into Anfield South will be celebrating Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool lifting silverware once again.
To Anfield South, where memories line the way, where chapter after chapter Liverpool's history has been carved on the towers, on the arch, and always for a billowing sea of red and white scarves. So as the battle lines appear, journey's end draws near. Could this just be the start?
Once more, Liverpool will make that very familiar journey. Liverpool and Chelsea once again meet in a domestic cup final. The history of these clubs has intertwined so much over the last 20 years, and now once again they go head to head for silverware. Havertz gonna play the ball for Azpilicueta across the face of goal. It's a brilliant save, and it's Sadio Mane, and it's helped on for Naby Keita. It's the man who's just arrived. Oh, and Mundy's made an astonishing save. He's allowed to carry the ball a long, long way. It's Havertz, and it's Mount. Oh my word. Pulisic. And there's a run by Mount. Fleck stays down. This is Chelsea's moment. Oh, Liverpool survive again. Mendy's ball. Here's Sadio Mane, and looks for Salah, and this could be Liverpool's moment. It's Salah for Liverpool. It just doesn't have the legs. It's Alexander-Arnold, it's Sadio Mane, and arriving is Joel Matip. Stuart Atwell ruins the big moment for Joel Matip. Little dink for Lukaku, he looked offside. It's Havertz, oh my word, it's gone in. And now the flag's up.